But yeah, so I did that, and then no sponsors. I remember going to the banquet because they did the banquet like the following, like it was like day or two after. I think it was like the next day.
Right.
So you had to wait in a hotel the whole
San
night
Clemente, right?
in San Clemente
Yeah.
for Huntington.
Yeah.
Huntington.
Oh, okay.
And then it was like at the Hyatt or something.
Yeah.
And then or the Hilton. And then so I remember the night before, I remember being in the shower and like just thinking, and I'm like, oh, I hope I can get like third or something. It'd be so cool. And you know the crazy
anything but second.
I just was happy to not get last.
Right.
Like I was so used to getting last. I'm like, so I remember just sitting there and I'm like, that'd be so cool if I can at least get third. And then the next night at the banquet, I was sitting there. We're all like everyone's out on their tables, and I'm sitting there, and they called us up and standing there. I'm like, come on, just give me third, at least give me third the whole time. Yeah. And then they just started calling like 6th place, 5th place, 3rd, 4th place, and then when they said third and it wasn't me, I was like, no way, I got second. I was like, yeah, I got second. I was so pumped. And then they called this guy Phil from second, and I was just like,
no way.
What? Like,
yeah, tripping.
I'm not supposed to win.
Yeah.
And so and so I won and left, and I don't know, I just came back to this bubble and kept surfing, and
yeah.
I always thought you could just become a really good surfer and make it.
And it'll come
instead of coming down and networking and hanging out. I was like stuck in this little zone.
Yeah.
And
that happens to a lot of you guys up here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good guys that come out, but yeah, you can't. People aren't really gonna come to you unless you're Dane or somebody like that.
Unless you're that's on another
the best
level,
in the world. Like
right.
Dane to me is.
And Timmy.
Yeah, well, Dane to me is the best in the world. Timmy was,
yeah.
First guy to do backflips and all that. I mean,
He's not.
Great guys,
Yeah.
but, they could sit around and someone's gonna come find them or hear about it or something.
Well, now these days back then it was really tough. But there's no social media. You can't promote yourself.
Right.
There wasn't even YouTube. I don't think YouTube was out at that time.
No.
So it's like, what do you do? Like you have to make a tape and try to deliver it to sponsors.
That's what I did. Like I would go to like audio. Here's my tape.
Yeah,
like literally a tape.
A tape, yeah.
A tape, and it was like
VHS.
The shittiest edit you've ever seen. Dude, I'd hit record and like on try to like catch the clip. And it was just all bashed up. And
but that's what we had.
Yeah, I had to bring it to those guys, and then once you get your foot in the door and you start doing well, then comes more stuff, right? All right. So, what I would say, do you have any advice for any of the young guys that are coming up? Like, for contests or even just the stuff you learned, like, because it almost seems like things were kind of stacked against you, or you felt that things were stacked against you, because you just said like, I'm not supposed to win, so you're already thinking like, wait a minute, this isn't. Yeah. It's not really in my cards usually.
Right.
So guys that are feeling like that, like they don't have a chance. You have any words of wisdom for those guys?
Yeah, I mean, these days it's like we were saying, it's way different.
Right.
You really got to be good at. You need to be really good, obviously, at surfing. You need to surf really well. You need to get your surfing to a level where you can compete on the CT, right? Like if you want to make it in like CT and really like try to be a world champ,
the CT,
right?
Like in today.
But they need to also work on branding. Right. They need to be really good at marketing. Like this is so crucial because there are so many good surfers now. I feel bad for the kids that are coming up right now that aren't like the elite of the elite, because if they don't find something else like to niche up and kind of like have that, like Machado, Machado's older now, but he still has that. He's got the look. He's got his vibe. He's got something.
Drifting and like kind of.
He's marketing in that area. And if you're just gonna come up as an athlete, I mean, you really have to have something that you can mix in there to so you're not just like a vanilla. Like you're not just another guy that rips. Right. That's the key. And everybody's a social media star, right? Everyone's famous on social media. So you have to find a way to have longevity in that. And so to have longevity in that, you need to be good at marketing, and you need to understand, like, you have to be comfortable in front of the camera, and you need people to get to know you personally and not just your surfing.
Right.
not just your physical, like who is this person, what is he into, like, and
Right,
I
yeah.
feel like that's so crucial these days, you know.
I've told Taylor like multiple times, I'm like, dude, like you should like, I want to see more of you guys hanging out. I want to see your personality. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I know you can do roundhouses and great bottom turns, and I know you can do all that stuff. It'd be rad to show yourself
Right.
more, you know.
And it's
but-
hard.
Yeah, I guess. I
It's
mean,
hard.
I've always been kind of like a camera whore, you know, or whatever.
good.
I've been fine with it, you know. I've never,
Right.
because I felt like I always had something that the wrong kind of depiction of me. So camera, I could kind of show my true self. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but
No, it makes sense.
yeah, maybe that's what it was. But yeah, so pretty much what you're saying is like you either have to be the best surfer in the world, or you have to be a damn good surfer because there's so many of them
Yeah.
with a niche. Like
Yeah.
you might be an air guy, or you might be a musician, or you might be this, and you
Yeah.
have to find some kind of groovy thing that people can follow and mesh with and kind of want to be that, and right,
And-
like it's
I
pretty
mean,
difficult.
I think the number one thing that's even more important than all of that, and I think this goes just life in general, is you need to find ways that you can give to people. Find ways that you can like uplift other people.
Yeah.
Because if you can help uplift other people, you know, people remember that, they appreciate that, and then if something ever comes around, like sponsors or whatever projects in the future you're trying to work on, you know, that resonates with people, and you have to like, it's so crucial. Like for me now that and you've done it working with kids, like I've been working with the kids, like doing lessons and stuff, and it's so rewarding because you get to see what we don't feel anymore, like that when you
Right.
just stand up on a wave, how
Yeah.
fun that is. Like we take that for granted.
Yeah, well, for us,
And-
it's always just work. We get up and we're like, oh, it's time to go to work,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's
Get
like
up on a wave. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'm like, oh, it's time to fuck this
right.
thing up.
But I mean, and you see guys, we see pros all the time that they try and air reverse and they fall and they slap the water and they're
Yeah.
mad, and it's
Yeah.
like, dude. And I've been I've
Yeah.
done that, right?
I was
I've been
yelling
frustrated.
yesterday.
I've been frustrated, but when you put it in perspective, it's like life is, it's, I don't know, like it's just about lifting other people up and helping people. And if you can find a way to do that within your marketing when you're young and
Yeah.
you're coming up in surfing, and find a way to do something, I think
It's almost like,
that's gonna do
dude,
it.
if you're there to help and like be the community, and you can rise up together. You don't have to like push everybody away and like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Like you can do it together,
And
and
if
it's so much better when you have like good people around you and all that stuff. You
And
know?
if your skill level is that much higher than everybody,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you bring them with you and push other people up, because you're still going to prevail above. So if you still have your surfing and you're taking care of that, and you're still building, becoming stronger, training, eating healthy, you know, staying off drugs, staying off, you know, too much partying, all that, and
Right.
focusing at the same time, you're helping other people, you're still going to stay on top.
Dude, and when you're talking about that, only thing I'm really thinking about is the San Clemente crew, Griffin, Crosby,
For sure.
Kolohe. Those guys all help each other. They all make sure, like, he always mentions his brother.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, Griffin always mentions Crosby. Crosby's killing it right now. Cade Matson, that whole little
That
crew.
whole
It's like
crew,
they're
yeah.
just lifting each other up, and they're boosting each other, and they're coming up together, and they
Yeah.
should. And so when you're saying that, I'm just thinking San Clemente, you know,
For sure. No,
Kolohe
that-
and Dino, and none of those guys party or anything. They just lift each other up, and they're thriving.
Yeah.
All those kids are going to be on the CT most
For
likely.
sure.
Like all, you know, 6 of those little guys
For
coming
sure
up.
they
Jet
will.
Schilling, Cade Matson, Crosby Calapinto. But it's really because of brother, you know? Like,
Yeah.
brothers kind of been like, hey, guys, this is what's up. You
Yeah.
know, come here, let's go. You know, let's go have fun,
Yeah.
which is pretty rad. I didn't have that.
Yeah, see, I had that, but it was in a different way. It was like we're saying,
You're like,
nobody
"What's
come up here.
Come up, homie. Come over
Nobody
here."
come over here.
Right on. Well, all right. So just so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna figure out, you know, what muscles and everything it takes to be able to get that low, because I want to get there as well. So with this video, I'll post some sort of exercise with it as well.
Oh, cool.
And if anything comes to mind that you're
I'll
like,
use that exercise.
yeah, well, shit, if anything comes to mind, because I'm gonna have to figure it out. I'm gonna have to go, all right, this is tight here and whatever.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
want to figure out an exercise for the people at home to check it out and surf like Jeremy and all the other guys that like really set themselves apart. You know, that's really what it was. And I realized last night, I was like, Josh, I'm like, look, it's right here. his knees by his face, and I'm not. I'm like a zombie. I'm like, oh. Yeah. All right. Well, dude, thanks so much for linking up.
Of course.
And thanks for having me at your spot. And man, this has been fun surfing with you. And we'll let's keep it going and
shred.
And
let's go shred today.
Yeah, let's shred. I'm a little sore, but yeah, dude. I appreciate you as a human, and thanks for doing this interview.
Appreciate you too, man. Thank you so much.
All right. COVID.
Ow.